Evidently, Steve Bannon's viewers, some of them at least, have finally reached a line past which they do not want to follow him, and it has to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, if you've been paying attention to this, you know that Steve Bannon, it turns out, we now know, apparently had a pretty cozy relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and was even working after we knew everything we needed to know about Jeffrey Epstein. Steve Bannon was working in secret to try to rehabilitate his image. Steve Bannon was trying to rehabilitate the image of one of the most notorious child predators in American history. And a lot of right-wingers are evidently fine with this, but some are like, hey, this seems to go against everything we've been saying. And especially when they found out that he did this really long taped interview with Epstein, and he's just been sitting on the tapes. Some of his viewers are like, hey, could we see that? Like, why did you talk to this guy, this elite predator, and you don't want us to see it? That seems a little bit weird. And so in reporting, a lot of it summed up by Media Matters about the communications between Bannon and Epstein. There are emails between the two men in which Epstein weighed in on Trump cabinet officials, writing, quote, "Getting rid of Powell, much more important than Syria or Mattis. I guess Pompeo, only one left, and Mnuchin is okay." See, they're just chatting about politics or whatever, you know, a massive grifter and a sexual predator, just having a little bit of fun talking about politics. In others, Epstein gave Bannon advice on interviews and provided talking points for an economic conference at which the former Trump strategist was speaking. There's also this, by the way, this is my favorite one. A few days before the exchange, in which Epstein appeared to have arranged a charter jet for Bannon, Epstein said, "How does it feel to have the most highly paid travel agent in history?" Bannon thanked him. "You are pretty good assistant," I think that's supposed to be. To which Epstein replied, "Massages not included." You get it? You get it because of the sexual assault of minors? That's what he's referencing. I love a good reference. I love reference comedy, and that's topical too. And Steve Bannon would get it, you know, because at this point we knew that Epstein was a massive rapist of children. So that's you need to know that to get the joke, JR, just in case you didn't get it. I don't know if Bannon laughed, but he evidently kept up the relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and a few of his viewers are mad. One tweeted, "So Steve advising Epstein how to sugarcoat his depravities. I've been watching Steve for 6 hours per day since 2020. I'm so done with the MAGA whisperer. Hypocrisy is not only Democrats' disease." That's good for you, Sean. Also, it'll free up some time for you, dear God. Was Steve Bannon making 6 hours of content a day? Geez, no wonder his body is decayed. Dude, take a break. Look up wellness. Anyway, Spring said, "This is something I would very much like Bannon, my strategy guru, to answer. I know he does his own thing and literally talks to most, but what's with Epstein? What was he hoping to gain?" And another person said, "I'm a Trump voter and supporter, but Bannon, you're a fat pedo lover. You defending Epstein is disgraceful." So look, I wish that was the majority. He shouldn't have an audience, JR. When it's revealed that you're chit-chatting with Epstein, how are any of them still supporting him? What do you think?
They can't even go with this whole thing of talking to anyone, which one of the people tried to go ahead and write off. I mean, I know he talks to everyone. I know we have our expansive conversations with murderers, rapists, and child sex traffickers, but mentioning massages maybe crosses the line. Their brains are really pushing the limits. Like, I'm totally cornered. It's a dark, deep corner of following these guys for 6 hours a day. By the way, John, I go over my stuff more than 6 hours a day. I'm like, man, I'm so tired of listening to this guy, JR. Wish I didn't have to edit him any further. But still, these guys are finally, I mean, it's a slight turn. And as long as you distract them by tomorrow, they'll forget about that slight turn that they had. You know, the issue they have with child sex traffickers and mentions of massages. Don't forget, really fast, Steve Bannon is the same guy who was on stage talking to a bunch of supporters and was basically worried about upcoming elections. If we lose this midterm election, if we lose any other presidential elections, I'm going to prison, he says. I'm going to prison, along with 4 other guys that he's got to mention because they're criminals. You know what, John?
Yeah.
I remember when I was in support of any other presidential candidate winning, and I was talking to friends. I didn't say, man, I'll tell you what, if Obama doesn't win re-election, I'm going to prison.
Yeah, you did say that a lot. It was starting to get weird near the end there. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm gonna end with this. I'm gonna pose a hypothetical. Don't get triggered, Mark Wayne Mullen. It's just a hypothetical. Let's say you found out that I had been engaging in a long-going online conversation with Bill Cosby. And Bill Cosby at one point was like, "Hey, John, so we're gonna go clubbing. Bring your own pills. Please tell me you would stop watching the show."